Welcome to Real Talks with Pinks. Thank you to our viewers for joining us today. Today we are going to talk about autism, and I have a special guest with me, Seboku. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Thank you, Pinky. I am Seboku Mabathoana. I am a practicing advocate in the cause of law, and I also an autism mom who's also advocating for children with autism everywhere.
Okay.
Yes.
So Seboku had shared her journey on Facebook. That's how I knew that she has an autistic child. And I thought this is one of the topics that we would like to talk about on this show. So I did invite her to come and tell us more about autism. She is not a professional, but like I said, she has a child who's autistic. So Seboku, can you tell us a bit about autism? What is autism in your definition?
Thank you for highlighting in my definition. I'd say autism is a neuro disorder that affects the brain in terms of communication. You find that, or in fact, in simple terms, I'd say it's a social disorder. The social things that an ordinary or a typical person is expected to do, such as talking, such as understanding somebody, even when they're quiet, such as reading signs and other things. Somebody with autism has a limited understanding of the language, or does not even understand at all. So such things like communication, there's a huge communication barrier.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I do not have a child, but I know at certain stages of a child's life or an infant, we expect them maybe to walk, we expect them to speak, we expect them to do certain things. So what were the signs that you could say you saw in your child, and at what age did you see that maybe they are not doing things the way they should be at that age?
Well, with my son, in terms of physical development, he was developing very well. He walked at the right time, he crawled at the right time. I think in terms of speech, I think it was around when he was around 1 year and 6 months, he still didn't even say a word. So that was alarming to us. Secondly, he could only keep eye contact with his parents, just me and his father and his grandmother, just close family. The rest of the people, he would never keep eye contact with them. So that was a bit odd. And then we tried to take him, because he's a boy, most people would say, no, boys have a developmental delay, most of them, so we shouldn't worry. So we were given advice that he should go to a school. We took him to a nearby school to try and interact with other kids. He got worse. We took him to another kindergarten school, and that's where his teacher said, with him, he cannot understand whatever you're saying. He does not follow any instructions. May you please perhaps take him to hospital? Maybe he has a hearing disorder or something. And then we took him to the hospital. That's where specialists were able to diagnose him that no, in fact, his ears are functioning very well. The problem that he has is autism. In his condition, because autism is an umbrella of many other conditions, but with him it was pervasive developmental disorder. So with him, he's 9 years old right now. He still can't say a word. He still cannot talk, but through different interventions that we decided to take him through, such as recently we've started doing stem cell. We've also medication here and there just to help his hyperactivity to go down. So at least now, even though he's 9 years old, he's still not talking, but at least now he can follow a few instructions. And there's a special education school where he gets his education. So at least the little interventions that he's going through, there's a bit of improvement. Yeah, but in general, he's still unable to talk.
In our culture, I know people say a lot of things about kids with disability, or generally people with disability. In my previous job, I used to work with people who are disabled. So we always want to encourage people, especially
Yes.
they don't even tell you, I have a disabled child, or maybe my parent or someone. So what do you say to those type of people who want to hide people who are disabled and want to make it a shame or a taboo, and don't even speak about such?
Unfortunately, our society has made it so difficult, even for people like me. I always say my child has a right. Like this whole earth, when God created the earth, He did not create it for a certain class of people. So similarly, even my son has a right to be on this earth. So if I take my son, say to the mall, because he's not ordinary or he's not typical, he'll end up making a few noises here and there. I have to, sometimes he's scared, so sometimes I'll have to carry him. Sometimes the crowd is just too much for him sometimes. And, somebody will just approach me. Hey, why are you carrying him? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? So even if you don't want to hide your child, people just in your face, they will make you feel that what you're doing is wrong. You cannot work with your child with disability everywhere. It's wrong. So I do understand partly why they hide their children, because the world is just not good.
Easy.
It's not easy. I don't understand why people make it out as if our children are cases. Like if I don't find myself a case, my child being a case, I don't understand why you feel you can tell me that my child is wrong or is cast. So I do partly understand them, but at the same time, I'd like them to try as much as they can to seek help, not just Kacha. Even in Maseru, even everywhere, you need to learn about this condition. I don't know who I can appeal to, maybe the government or the NGOs or whatever, but we need to go everywhere and teach people about autism, not just autism, but different conditions that people have. You might find that even children, I've learned that even America, South Africa, South Africa, children with autism actually improve with good interventions, with good special education, with good therapies, with good speech therapies, psychology, medication, stem cell, and other things. They actually do improve. So I know sometimes it's not easy, but just have courage. Our children are a blessing. Although they're different from other people, they're still a blessing. They're still human beings. They still want to enjoy going outside, playing in the sun, going in the car and everything. So just have courage too. And I remember this one time I was telling my husband, they said this, and then he just looked at me. How about what I can? I think not that I will do that, but that is an encouragement to tell somebody off. It's none of your business, especially somebody who's not kind. Some people are kind enough to ask you, is there something wrong with the child? Can we help or any other thing? That is good. But somebody who just comes out, honestly, so...
We need to be more kind, and I think we need to understand different types of disorders, disabilities, so that we know also how to support people who are raising kids with autism and other disorders. So in terms of support, especially regarding your child, I know in Lesotho we don't have a lot of special schools, but wherever the government and other NGOs are able to assist, there's still those few schools where people can take their kids. So what do you say to other parents who don't know how to speak to their kids in trying to understand your child?
In sorry about the question.
No. I mean, sometimes you can take your child to a special school. Yeah. So what do you say to other parents? I get it. Other parents want to tell their kids he's autistic, and this is how you play with him. Also, don't be surprised.
Oh,
So yes.
okay. The parents of typical children.
Yes.
Oh, they also have to know. They also have to learn that there are different types of people, there are different types of children, and we also have children with disability. And this is how we at least try to engage with them so that they should feel accepted as well. I think it's very. I think it's every child or every human being needs to feel that belonging, needs to feel accepting. It's sad that sometimes I cannot even take my son to birthday parties because I know how other children are going to treat him. Because if there's the one word I hate in my life is sohol.
Yes, that's a
that
derogatory
word.
word.
I hate it with all my heart. Oh, hoke sohol, ha. So you find even as parents, when there's a birthday party, oh no, I'll come, knowing very well I'll never pitch. So it's also a lesson for parents. First of all, parents should start themselves to accept that they're different children so that they can learn, so that they can teach their children the same lessons as well.
It's so sad that we still have people who don't understand certain disorders and would be calling your child with such derogatory words. And we want to debunk those myths and say to people, understand different disorders and disabilities, and we aim to raise awareness in this show about such things and things that we don't talk about. Thank you so much, Seboku. Do you have any final words that you'd like to say to our viewers, being parents who are raising autistic children, being others who did not know about this disorder? What would you like to say as a round of conclusion?
People with autism or children with autism, I've highlighted in the beginning of this interview, they have as much right to enjoy everything on this earth as any other person. So you in your right mind, when you're just thinking about it, just think about that. Just think, when I'm going to approach somebody with autism, I might just think what I'm going to say, is that going to go in line with what the right that they also have to enjoy? As a parent, also think about your child. When you're hiding your child in the bedroom or whatever, think about it. Am I giving this child the right that they deserve to be on this earth and enjoy? Just go around that when you approach not just somebody with autism, but people in general who are different or who have any different conditions.
I think in a nutshell, ka Sesotho hore batho ba inahane a ba approach kaofela ha rona. So thank you so much for sharing your journey, and I'm really glad that you honored our invitation.
Thank you.
And I think in Lesotho, you're probably the only person I know who knows about autism through your child. There's probably more, but I know you. And thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you to our viewers for watching. Keep subscribing to the channel. We'll be giving you more authentic and honest conversations.